Hey guys, how's it going? Cheers for tuning in to another video. So this one is going to be more positive compared to my my video with about the layoffs, about the thoughts on it. So let's stick with what's going right in the gaming industry. So Season of Discovery. We've had phase 2 for a little bit now. Now these are incremental patches where the dev team increased the level cap within the level 60 boundary. In this case, the level cap went from 25 to 40, and they've given us new runes. They've given kind of new content. Well, they have given new content, just not by means of many. So in this phase 2, we have a new raid, Nomaran raid. The Nomaran, however you want to say it, sorry. I've not quite done that yet. Myself. There's also the new PvP event in Stranglethorn Vale. I love and hate that zone, so going to it a lot has mixed feelings, but it is what it is. Now, the design of that PvP content is weird because you do it because it grants you strong PvE rewards. So people want to do it to have good gear for that point of endgame, and actually going forward we're starting to get good gear with relevant stats for your classes, especially for casters. We're getting the equivalent to spell power, which is great. I have re-rolled mage. Now I started that shortly before phase 2 actually begun, so I was still behind in the development of that particular character. That's my current journey. I'm trying to go mage healing. I should have started as the very first thing when I saw the rumor about the mage being healing via the runes. I should have done that because it's an interesting perspective, because I would consider that quite a true hybrid role in its particular design, but I digress. That's how I'm going to continue going forward with Season of Discovery, my healing mage. What I do say is, hopefully after the layoff that occurred, that the roadmap that Blizzard presented not that long ago still persists in terms of their targets when they want to release those, and also what they wish to include in those particular patches. So I hope Blizzard has not changed that. The only way I can accept delays from companies if they truly can add more to that particular point in time, more content. If they can't do that, then it's inexcusable. So far it seems the retention is great. There's lots of players about. Granted, it has quite the condensed number of servers, but I think that's a smart move to make. So I'm happy to see that. I see a lot of activities going on for various forms of content. I have noticed when I want to heal a mage, that hasn't been very fruitful, with really weird set of circumstances. With that, when I want to heal as my mage, there's always been a healer in the group. There's still a healer shortage in the game, in Season of Discovery. It's always been bizarre that there's always been another healer. So in terms of my healing experience in the more conventional manner, has been pretty limited so far. So I would say, if you're behind or just my particular luck, if you wanted to go that particular route, it's been a little bit limited. It's been very bizarre. Season of Discovery has fresh ideas in the current mold of classic era, and guys, there's so much stuff I miss with the classic design of MMOs in their older style. So don't get me wrong, there is, in the modern world of MMOs, there's some things that are fun and nice, but in terms of playing through the world, just doing your quest, I would say the old-fashioned way is quite relaxing in terms of just sitting down and doing them. However, in the old days and in the classic era, that actually shows leveling is actually not as simple as modern MMOs. When you're doing your normal quests, they're level appropriate. You can still die. You can still not fail the quest, but it will take you longer to do. And you really have to think about your approach. You really have to think about what's around you. Multi-mobbing is not simple. And if you did, you're more likely to die. And in the modern iterations of MMOs, if you get swamped by 3-4 mobs, it may take you a while to kill that during leveling. However, you wouldn't necessarily die. In the classic era, you will die. So yes, it can be frustrating, but that frustration leads to positive outcomes, positive perspectives of that game. It makes you more invested in your playstyle, in your character, how you went about doing that. It makes you care. And I don't see anything wrong with that. And quite frankly, a lot of people hate to lose. So if they're lost to basically just a simple caster, a simple thief, like, how did I lose to that? You want to go back and be like, yeah, I'm getting my revenge. So yeah, when you level, you can get your butt kicked by regular creatures or humanoids, whatever it is. And I think that's fine, and I think that's something that flavor should come back into modern MMOs, because it makes you, like I said, it will also make you talk about it with your friends. You'll grumble, and yeah, again, it'll make you care, and I think that's really important. And I think teaching players points of failures in the most basic way is an important thing to teach MMO players, that this is something that's going to happen more often in the later parts of the game. So I would say modern MMOs do a really bad job of presenting what the later parts of the game look like comparison to the early parts. When you're leveling, when you're doing your dungeons, your approach to them is so different to what it's going to be at the end. I would say in a classic era, you're more in line with, is this frustration, is this longer leveling, this longer to acquire said item, is this type of grouping, is this grueling, is it arduous, is it annoying? Yes, and you expect that throughout the game, so it sets an expectation early on whether this is what you want to do or not. So it teaches importance in that particular respect, and I think Classic does a good job of that. And with Season of Discovery, it adds fresh ideas with the runes, how they transform some of the dungeons into raids, so it's not the same old game, though even with the runes and skills they provide, the leveling is mostly the same, but in terms of your approach to them will be vastly different. With my experience leveling as a healing mage, once you've acquired some of the runes for the healing, it really changes up sort of, I can do this now in leveling, like I can survive a bit more. Some of these skills really elevate your sort of peak of interest. I've always been someone that likes to experiment with builds in live MMOs where possible, where they let you, and this is right up my alley because it's an addition to the talent trees, which still remain the same. They haven't really changed that, but the runes really can change your class behavior, even in the leveling process. And once you're at max level, how you approach the dungeons can be much more different. You're relearning things, and I think that's great. And I hope this version of the game continues going forward beyond level 60. Looking at the roadmap, they said it will continue. They don't say it's going to particularly end, despite that's what they said at BlizzCon. And with Phase 2, it didn't really add in that much in the way of content as opposed to acquiring new runes and leveling. But we've got the new PvP content, and like I said a bit earlier, people seem to be doing that for the PvE gear, but also mounts. It gives you mount reward. Because it gives mount rewards, enforces the prospect of they don't intend to take this version of the game away. They're specially acquired mounts, and why would you remove a game mode if you have special items to acquire? Unless they reward that to your account somehow. But with the raid, from what I've seen so far in terms of videos and footage of people playing, is that the encounters seem to be vastly intricate to what classic era boss encounters typically had. I would go on the fence to say classic encounters, older encounters, weren't particularly complicated, as they were more stat averse and your composition averse. But it seemed like the encounters that we're getting in Season of Discovery with their special raids and special bosses as well, the more intricate, the more how we more expect a modern MMOs to be. There's seemingly more thought process got involved. Your composition still would matter, but you can always retweak your strategy to go with that. So I think that's a really good positive, and I think that's something that older encounters don't give anymore, is intricacy. Because I would say a lot of the older encounters are quite basic, even when people get a bit wary of how they want to do some of the dungeons. They're like, oh, we want this particular class, and when you go into the dungeons, they're kind of like, well, what is this? People have overestimated them, so I'm seeing a lot more of that, but it's great to see these ideas being implemented, because one of the things that I quite like about Seasons of Discovery is the prospect of how it can influence the modern World of Warcraft. What they can sort of experiment with, not just encounter design, but class ideas, class balance, sort of slowing things down a bit. I think that applying some of that into the modern Warcraft is beneficial. And looking at the roadmap, if it's still going to stay like this, and if we focus predominantly on the Season Discovery content, not what's coming for Cataclysm, we can see it ends at level 60. And they say on the roadmap from level 60 will be content updates. Now, from here we need to sort of get an idea to what they will do here. Are they going to do a major thing? For me, what I would love to see is we don't go into the Burning Crusade. I think a lot of people are hoping we stay on Azeroth. The game continues in its own branch, and we explore the missing aspects of Azeroth. We add more to what we already have, and add various activities to this particular world without changing the core crux of it. You don't change the classes entirely. You don't take away stuff. You don't change the talent trees like they did from Wrath, or was it Wrath to Cataclysm, or the Cataclysm of Mist and Pandaria, where they completely redid the talent trees. And yeah, we went from there. I would like them just to add more of what we have, to give it a fresh idea and a fresh twist, what they've been doing so far. There's lots of stuff in Azeroth which looks like it's been abandoned. Sort of, when you look at the map, you can see like there should be something there. I mean, Cataclysm map shows that there is actually something there, like Mount Hyjal, Uldum, for example. These are inaccessible areas, including kind of, if you look at Tristful Glades, there's a section of the map which is a large bit of landmass which you can't do anything, you can't get there, but there is lore attached to the whole zone, and it's rumoured that there is like an old god there, or perhaps the higher ranking general that's slumbering or was defeated there but can be awakened. Exploring more of the old god lore and Titan lore within that. We had Cthulhu, which granted I wasn't there during the original vanilla release, but that's such a fascinating lore when I started my journey in World of Warcraft. If Season Discovery can revitalize and add more of that, see more of what would have been of our direct influence, and we don't become this superhero, we don't become this hero of Azeroth, we're just adventurers exploring the world, exploring some activities, and the locals ask for help, but they just need bodies of people to assist with. We're not changing the fate of the world. We're not changing the fate of the galaxy or universe. I would like the adventure to stay more grounded. Explore some of these nitty-gritties, these mysteries, these conspiracies, these assassination attempts, stopping the assassinations attempt, stopping groups of bandits, raiding a goblin cave or orc cave or troll cave or whatever it is, Murloc cave, and just be like, you're a nuisance. We need to put a stop to you, but we're taking your loot anyway. That's what we need more of. And I think you can be more creative doing that. And I would say with Season Discovery with the runes, you can really expand how crazy they can make that, but not go into space. I really just mean what the world has to offer, kind of. And if they continue with this hopefully new branch of World of Warcraft in the classic era, I would love to see again them adding stuff but not changing stuff. I would love to see again, like with the Dura zones that Cataclysm has shown are there. I would love them to be opened up during this era and seeing how they are without Deathwing completely destroyed everything or awakened things. I would love to see how things are like as they are before he completely did his thing. So it'd be a great way to see Azeroth expanded without that mess. Build upon the existing content, make it more fun, make it more engaging, make it more, it's worth your while doing it and spending time on it. It's not just more raids but more activities, something that really benefits what they are trying to do with this game, and not just an experimental hotbed for modern World of Warcraft. I think there's no reversing the trajectory of the modern Warcraft. I think the next expansions coming are grounding it more, but you can't overturn the fact that we went back in time in Walls of Draenor, we went into space, we went to another planet, we went to the realm of death, and it's kind of like, okay, where do you go from there? So it'd be nice to have a world that we all are in, where the cosmos is interacted with, and stuff happens. And this could be a new chapter in World of Warcraft, an additional chapter I should say, where we can see not expansions, but the game is basically patched. I would love to see a raid in Oldham, like some of those Egyptian styling that they've had in there. I would love to see that. I would love to start seeing them add within that world and build upon that, having that grind, that gear chasing that really matters, but not with such randomized stats, like stuff that has meaning, stuff that has plays with your builds. I really like how the gearing system works now. They've actually retweaked number of gearing that really didn't exist back in the day, so they've taken consideration how you should build your characters, and I think that's good. If you made it this far into the video, guys, thank you. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Like this video if you liked it, give me a subscription. Subscribe to the channel if you can, it will help out loads. Till next video, guys.